Alrighty, so sorry for the delay. Welcome, baby steppers. I am Steve Simpson is my actual name. I'm Coach Steve Money professionally. And we got audio. All good. This is the Ramsey Show after show, and it is May. Almost the mod almost fooled me. The mod would have us believe that it's April 7th. No, it's May 7th. So happy May 7th. We just had May the 4th be with you, and Revenge of the 5th, and even Revenge of the 6th. What up, G? Robert G in the hizzy. Much appreciated. New time for the Ramsey Show, and therefore the after show, Robert G. Oh, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yeah. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And for my financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist. I just put up the new recap for last night's episode earlier this morning. And the Ramsey Show after show playlist has today is episode 538, and answering your financial questions playlist has 138 in there. The music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including the one that I talked about in the Ramsey Show briefly. You belong debt free. You belong debt free. So, singer, not my usual job. So take the singing as you will, but you might enjoy the lyrics to those, and then you'll think of those when you hear the original song in the grocery store, and then my life will be complete. Oh, Robert G in the middle of selling a house and buying another one. I haven't been here much. Moving into the DMV is a lot. The DMV is no joke in many, many, many different areas. Market report, and hey, look, it's up today. So maybe it'll wipe out yesterday's at least. Hopefully better than just wiping out yesterday's negativity. But it's good to see everything green. Very nice. Says Wall Street points higher ahead of Fed. I think I have that. Do I have that article? I don't. Ahead of the Federal Reserve. No, I don't have that article. I have a different one, I think. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. What do we want to do? Check the rest of the planet. Everything down in Europe. Almost everything up in Asia. And the US dollar down to the euro, up against the Japanese yen, down to the British pound low, up over the Canadian dollar, and we're not sorry about it. And it's also up against the Australian dolomite. We're saying nar to those Australians. Oh, Uber and AppLovin and Carvana reporting today, Coinbase tomorrow on the 15th, Walmart. And that might be some good news for retail. I was going to say Fed rate cuts, like Trump's tariffs look to be on 90-day pause, morning brief, okay. And, that's what they do. They err on the side of not cutting rates. Meanwhile, the inflation rate continues to be above 2% a year, and supposedly that's what they want it to be. So why not lower the freaking rates? Seems idiotic to me. Most followed single stocks on the Google, and yeah, just still getting used to looking at it this much during the day while it's in progress. and not being done for the day, because usually when I would start the after show, that the market had closed an hour or so earlier, a little over an hour. And we have the most followed single stocks on the Google. The most up, it looks like Amazon. Amazon. I wonder if they ever thought about using that for an ad for Amazon. That would have been pretty cool. They're up almost 3%. Very nice. Trump admin picks COVID critic to be top FDA vaccine regulator. Great. And that's what happens when you go vote the opposite way. You get the opposite stuff. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Wall Street. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do have this article. Didn't think I had the, thought I had a different one. Wall Street points higher ahead of Federal Reserve interest rate call. I think I said pretty much everything. Let's see. I would just want to see if it says exactly what it is, what the inflation rate is right now. Oh, Powell and other Fed officials have signaled they want to see how the duties, including 145 percentage points on all imports from China, impact consumer prices and the economy. Or you could be proactive instead of being reactive. Why not be proactive and lower the rates, and then if inflation goes too low, then you can raise them up again. My goodness gracious me. So I don't get this just reactive stuff and waiting too long. I don't get it. All right, let's do some questions. On reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And it's from user 99069. Getting those bills paid. I had about $17,300 on a credit card and all, and I know the general rule is to pay the low ones first. So, again, I always say this, period. That's it. There's no need for the rest of the stuff. There's no need to think more of that. When it says, the general rule, it's not the general rule, it's the only rule. That's the Ramsey way to do it. So it's not a general rule, my friend. So you're either doing it, or you can do whatever dumb crap you want to do, and you don't have to run it through the Dave Ramsey subreddit here. You don't have to even look at the baby steps. You don't even have to pay attention to Ramsey at all. You can just do whatever dumbass crap you want to do. But you're on the Ramsey subreddit. Why are you doing this crap? So, but all of them do this. They say, yeah, I know. It's easy to know. See, the people that are doing it wrong, they know exactly what they're doing wrong. So they seem to be able to understand it. But some other people can't. Like the ones that actually want to follow it, they're not doing it right. Because they're misinterpreting it. Anyway, to pay the low ones first. That's right. Smallest to largest. That's the snowball method. And there's a reason that that's the way to do it. And we can't trust Mr. Ramsey. 30 years experience. 30-year track record. Millions of documented success stories. That's not good enough for you. There's no other financial advisor that comes even close to that. And of course, you don't come close to that either with your little thoughts about how you can do it better. I fully support your right, of course, to do whatever you want to do. But again, why write about it? Why not just do whatever dumb crap you want to do? Oh, let's see. What's the rest of it? Interest was killing me. Wah. No, it wasn't. Justification station for doing it the way you want to do it. It was not killing you. You just didn't like it and wanted to do it your own way. And that's fine. Do it your own way, but why do I have to hear about it? It's content. It's fine. I have since paid it down to 4,300 and have a plan to be debt free by 9/1/2026. My other debts include 16,000 on my car payment. You could sell the car and be out of debt quicker and buy a beater. $870 freaking $6 a month. Sell the freaking car, idiot. So I'm at the finish line with it. No, you're not. That's over a year away, dog. No, you're not. How long have you been paying off debt already? So, I mean, if you can't get completely out of debt in 3 years, that's when you do sell things like cars and stuff. And it will probably be a good idea for you to do it anyway, especially since you've already done crap wrong to begin with. Let's see. Storage building. What? Storage building cash payment is 5,000 and paid overtime is 11,000. What? You are renting a storage building? What the heck are you storing? Credit card 2 is at 2,600. Discover 3 is at $1,000. Chase 4 is at 500. US 5 is at 2,300. Cheap. Air. What in the world is that? 6 is at 1,000. Lowe's 7 is 2,100. These are rough estimates. After paying the remaining 4,300, I will do the snowball trick for everything else. Why not do it for that? The plan is by December 2026, I have about 12K in savings. You would not have savings while you are paying off debt. That would be you doing it wrong. I make a total of $83,000. 2,100 from a month from the VA and the rest from work. I don't pay rent and mortgage, and only pay about $300 a month in utilities. So the plan is to have about $1,200 a month for groceries and gas and other expenses. That's $300 a week. It's just you? Groceries, gas, other expenses. You need $300 a week for that. By June 2028, the idea is to save everything outside of the 1,200 and have at least 100,000 by this time. By what time? Oh, by June of 2028, I see. By that time, 100,000. Well, you wouldn't just save that money. You would have your full emergency fund, and then you would be investing. So everything you're doing is bad here. Let's see. I would like to invest in something with dividend income or interest around 5 to 6%. Well, you have to not need the money for 5 years in order to invest it, but you don't chase dividends. You chase the overall gain. You do not want to chase dividends and make less money, because that does happen sometimes. Let's see, or interest around 5 to 6, so high yield savings account. Thoughts, recommendations, follow the freaking baby steps and the Ramsey advice the way he said to do it, not your dumb little crap you're doing with all your freaking debt. You got way too much debt. Did he even say how much it is altogether? 17 on that. So yeah, I mean, good thing you don't have rent or mortgage, because you're paying that in debt payments. This is just so stupid. Well, I mean, what did you buy on debt that you ever having to store as well in that storage building? That's nutty, man. You doing it wrong. What up, Matty Bags? Hashtag mentioned. Top objective 9877. Can't figure it out. Long story short, lots going on in life, and having a child has really thrown a curveball to my finances. Well, what's going on? You know, like everything that comes up in life, you don't have to do. You can opt out of things. Having the child, you don't need to opt out of that. That's fine. I went from maybe 500 to 1,000 extra a month to now negative in the monthly budget for the first time since the pandemic. So, hashtag pandy. So, that means that you need to cut some crap out of your budget then. Things that aren't 100% necessary need to go bye-bye. I've been cutting and cutting expenses. Need to keep doing it, apparently. Or, hey, here's an idea. Also, make more money. Work extra. But I just keep buying crap I don't need. Yeah, that's your dumbass fault. Quit being a dumbass. We were doing well. Thought about even buying a car with cash. Now it's like every problem imaginable is coming at us at once. I've made somewhat of a mess. Indeed, you have. Because you're doing it wrong. But also have a nice, loving family that is total worth it for some of these things. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are worth you making your finances better. Is what they're worth. So quit your dumb justification station and do it correctly. Or, again, why be on the Ramsey subreddit? Any humble advice for someone who has been about 2 years until being done with baby step for nearly 10 years? Yeah, so if it's going to take you more than 3 years, that's when you would sell stuff like a house or a car or something like that. But the problem is you're not on the baby steps because you're still spending money on crap. And so you got to fix that part first before there's no need to even start the baby steps because you're not doing anything. You're paying off a little bit of debt and then you're racking up more. That's dumb as crap, sir. So don't do that. Top objective 9877. So you're doing it wrong. I would tell you to, how about we do a little thing called being an adult? You're going to have a child now. How about you be a freaking adult and quit buying crap that you don't need? My goodness gracious me. Good luck to that child. Oh, Mighty Bags read an article. The student loan borrowers are going to be sent to collections and having wages garnished. Excellent. Okay. Flaky Calligrapher 62. Envelope Method saw a Rachel Cruz. Nice try. It's with a C, not a K. Wallet on eBay this morning. Interesting. Does anyone still literally use the envelope method? Some people have to. Some people cannot use a debit card and stay on budget. They can't do that. They have to have the envelope because if they don't have the grocery envelope and they just have a debit card, they will spend more at the grocery store. They cannot stop themselves. And if you can't stop yourself, you need psychiatric help at that point. If you know that you shouldn't be buying it, but you overspend anyway, you need help. So this, maybe you got you in the last poster here, top objective 9877 can get a 2-for-1 at the psychiatrist. And so they can try to fix you so you can be smarter. And be an adult, like I was saying. If so, do you have a special wallet? Do you carry envelope? My ex-wife and I never had any problem sticking to the budget. So we just used debit card. We never had to use the envelopes. But some people do. Some people have trouble sticking to the budget. And if they just have a debit card, they will go over every time they go anywhere. And so if you have to use envelopes, use envelopes. Do you carry envelopes with you or just take out what you need? Some people do that as well. That's a lot of trips to the bank to take out the right amount of money. The wallet looked nice. I went to the Ramsey website and looked at them there. Can't believe they're so expensive. Yeah, they're probably not cheap to make, but I'm sure there's some markup. But you also do not have to buy them to do the envelope method. You can get paper envelopes and put the money in, or a bag, a grocery bag, anything that you can put cash in, you can use as your envelope for the envelope method there. And so the important thing about that, you do whatever you have to do to stay on the budget. Live, laugh. All right, great. Feeling free without credit cards and not looking back. 28 years old. 28 years here. 20 years, sorry, keeping it real here. Sorry about that. I came into some money past year, and decided to knock out my only debt, my car. That's fabulous. And I have never felt freer. Oh, the title is Feeling Free Without Credit Cards and Not Looking Back. Fabulous. I already own my house and don't make any payments on it. Well, you don't have to if you own it. Since knocking out that last debt, my mindset has shifted. I've been saving and investing consistently. 13,500 in a high yield savings account, 6,000 in checking. Also contributing to investments and building long-term security. And here's where I stand now. I'm in the mindset of I don't want or need credit cards anymore. Yeah. For years I heard the same lines. You need credit to buy a car. Bullcrap. You need it to get a house. Bullcrap. You need it to build your life. Bullcrap. But my experience says otherwise. What I really needed was... Let's see what he really needed. What I really needed was income and documentation. Okay? So you could be intentional by knowing the numbers. Is that what that documentation means? My car loan approval came from steady pay stubs. They only ran credit to give me they only ran credit to give me the loan on what I wasn't able to afford. My home, same story. They wanted proof of income and a credit run for what I couldn't afford. And frankly, I could have just paid cash for the car if I waited a bit longer, right? All this to say, I used credit cards responsibly for years, paid in full monthly, earned around 1K a year in cash back yearly since 2016 when I got my first ever card, but I'm feeling over it. Excellent. I'm tired of managing payments every month despite auto pay on. I want the simplicity of buying something outright and being done with it. Imagine that. Not here to shame anyone using cards. Go ahead. Go ahead and shame them. I get it. But I think I'm now seeing that they aren't really a tool. The people that use them are tools. They just want to see how good you do with debt. And to be crystal clear, if you comment credit cards are safer or try some BS, I added the some BS, or try to rehash the usual pro credit tropes, you'll be blocked immediately. Yeah. A person after my own heart there. Fast blocking. I'm not opening that debate. I've heard it all. I'm finding peace in swiping my debit card. Moving forward. Excellent. Buy a new shed. Well, you can get a $5,000 a month storage building, apparently, like that other person had. Okay, background 2469. Buy a new shed. Let's see. That's what she said. In the past 8 months, I recently bought a house. There are two sheds on the property, but the one is in rough shape and will need to either be torn down or, if I'm lucky, it will collapse. Yep. The yard I have is just big enough to where I would want to buy a riding lawnmower just to save time cutting the grass. I would then need to buy a riding lawnmower if I do that. Okay, and you see how it happens there. Recently bought a new house, and that's a lot of money right there. The down payment's a lot of money. Going into debt for the house, that's a lot of money as well. But now you think you have to buy everything. I want a riding lawnmower so it saves time, justification station, and then I need a shed to put it in. You don't have a garage that it'll fit in? People are so nutty. I didn't need to buy a riding lawnmower. If I do that, I will need to spend around $5K for a new shed. Since the two I have aren't big enough to store it this year, I already made an extra $5K principal only payment on the house. I owe roughly $235K for my mortgage. I have the extra $5K saved up to make another principal only payment. Not sure if I should use it for baby steps 4, 5, and 6. At this point, you get to decide that. But I mean, is there going to be a limit to the things that you decide that you need because you bought a new house? I can continue to push mow my lawn, which takes about 2 hours to do. That's also more exercise for you, and so that would be good, and that can save you from having to go to the gym. I'm just you're trying to save time. I'm just looking for an opinion on what your thoughts are. My thoughts are: don't just throw out money to everything, even if you have it. There's no reason to just throw out money to everything you think of and everything that'll save you time. What? So you can sit on your butt and scroll through your phone or watch TV or something like that longer. At the end of the month, I don't have much money going towards savings, around $500. Well, you don't constantly build up your savings. So you're doing it wrong there. So trying to figure out what baby step, if there's no debt. I mean, it doesn't say. It doesn't say anything about debt. 235, roughly 235 on the mortgage. And where were we at? Oh, since my mortgage is half of my take-home pay. Sell the house. Done. Done. Easy. So you don't, hey, guess what? Not going to have a house. You need to sell the house so you don't need a shed for it. So you don't need to cut that grass. Next. Thank you, next. I now understand the problem with that since listening to Ramsey. Yeah, no crap. So you're done with it. Don't be stupid and try to hang on to that expensive bullcrap. Just want the opinion on the shed issue, not the mortgage payment. Thank you. You don't need a shed because you should not have that house. So sell it. So quit your dumb crap. So you already are spending half of your income on the mortgage, and now you're going to buy a shed and then buy a riding lawnmower. So that would be a no. And that would be dumb as freaking crap. Good luck. Nick from Long Island, pay down mortgage. Hey guys, everyone was looking for your opinion on... Oh. Punctuation is great. So it's... Hey everyone, comma, was looking for your opinion on this. I'm turning 30 next month and have no debt besides my mortgage, which I have $370,000 left on. They started 409,500 a year ago. I've been doing a lot of extra payments to knock this debt down. Should I pause maxing out my Roth 401k for 4 to 5 years to pay this off even earlier, or continue maxing it out and just keep up with the additional extra payments? Additional info on this interest rate, we don't care. Doesn't change the advice. How much you paid in interest already doesn't change the advice. You're gonna pay a lot more interest in the early going for sure. Current household income $260,000. So what is that? 520. So it's not too much house. Shouldn't be too much house. Current net worth is 572,000. Okay. Thanks in advance for your input. Okay, so we don't have to even ask about this because all we got to do is look at the baby steps. Oh, let's see what it says. So it doesn't say do steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. It doesn't say to do that, but that's what you do. Steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time in this priority order without even thinking about investing or buying a house before you're done with baby step 3. That's a no on that. So, but baby step 4, look at that. It says invest 15% of your household income in retirement. And guess what? That's only until your house is paid off. So you would be doing if you're putting more than 15% in now to max it out, the advice would be to still do the 15% in there, but everything else goes to kid college if that's applicable to you, and then also anything left over after that goes to pay off the house early. So like you go at it like this way and not set up, well, I'm gonna throw $5,000 at it every so often. No, you don't do that. The baby steps have already been formulated for you, so should not have a question on that. This is answered by the baby steps, like most things are. But people, for some reason, can't figure that out. Don't know why. Competitive bed. I don't think beds are competitive, are they? 8407. How about has anyone used would be good. Saving or investment to finish baby step 2. Well, I hope so, because you're supposed to do that to both of these unless the investment's in a retirement account. Retirement account, you do not tap until retirement. So, but if you have more savings than and again, baby steps tell you, if you have more savings than the $1,000, can you imagine where that goes? Oh, look, the next step is baby step 2, paying off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. So probably all your extra savings and your non-retirement investing that you've done, your freaking Acorns or your freaking brokerage account, Financial Bros, that would go to pay off the debt in step 2. There's no investing or extra saving until you're on step 4 where you do your investing, and there's still no extra saving there. You don't just save and save and save. Just put money in a savings account. You don't do that. You have these baby steps to complete first. Once you're on step 7, you can save however much money you want, inside or outside of the market. You can invest as much as you want. That's fine. But until then, that's a no. And it tells you right in the baby steps. A lot of times people aren't looking for the answer. But all this stuff is very easy. I'm on baby step 2 now and thinking hard if I should. How about hard whether or not I should. I'm missing a lot of words here, basically. Just clear out all my debt except mortgage using some savings or my mutual fund investment. Yes. If the investment is two, if they are not in a retirement account. My car loan, I don't care about the rate. And honestly, don't type honestly. Don't say honestly. Don't say to be honest. Just be honest. My emergency fund and mutual fund return more than that. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you keep the debt around like it's a pet, as Mr. Ramsey says. So part of me feels like keeping the debt is smarter financially. Well, you can do that. You're on the wrong subreddit for that, but you can do that and knock yourself out. Then why are you asking? Again, but still the weight of debt is annoying. Well, make up your freaking mind what you want to do. I know Dave says, not Dave say, pay. Dave says pay it off for peace of mind. Yeah. And even more than peace of mind. It's so you don't have debt anymore, so you have financial peace. And so you're in better standing financially with no debt. But not sure yet. Anyone here actually used your saving or investment to finish off step 2? Was it worth it? Regret it or not? I actually don't remember if we did that or not. Let's see. I mean, because I'm thinking that we probably didn't have any extra savings. Didn't have any investments that were not in retirement, and I don't think we had extra savings like that because we were trying to pay off the debt. So we didn't have that. We didn't have the savings. So I did not do that, and regret it or not. So again, I mean, this seems like a pretty big decision. You gonna let somebody on Reddit persuade you, as opposed to the guy that's been given the advice for 30 years and has millions of documented success stories, following his advice and not the dumb crap that you want to do? It's up to you, dog. Fully support you for that. Good luck. Should I invest 100% to VTI? If not, why? Serious question. Again, that's because you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. And Dave Ramsey says, in case you care what he says 4-way split into managed mutual funds. Small cap, large cap, mid cap, and large cap, and then international managed mutual funds, because they can make more than the freaking index. And so that's why on both of those. Any other questions? Quovert, okay. At what point do you begin to fully trust your budget? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, to think that you've got it right? Well, when it starts matching up. When you say, I'm going to spend this month on groceries, and then you only spend that much. You don't have to trust the budget. The budget is whatever you set it to. You are the problem. You are the problem. When can you be trusted is the question. Not can you trust the budget. The budget's probably fine. I have been listening to Dave Ramsey religiously for the past 2 weeks or so much so that I'm actively not listening to any of my other podcasts I usually listen to. Great. And immersion like that is how you can be able to figure out the stuff that's not spelled out for you, like the step 1, 2, and 3 is one at a time without doing higher steps, and the 4, 5, 6 is all at the same time. Oh, and just the other stuff, like you know, if you're not smart enough to figure out where it says save $1,000 for your start emergency fund, and you have $5,000, and you don't automatically know where the extra $4,000 would go to, it would go to paying off your debt. It doesn't say that on here, but listening for 2 weeks in a row might. There's probably somebody that has savings and we're told to put it to debt. Where was I? Oh, but it was more so for me to track credit amounts on credit cards, loans, etc., and make sure I had paid everything on time. I finally downloaded the Every Dollar app and used it in conjunction with Undebt. Okay, because Undebt throws everything into a nice snowball debt table Excel spreadsheet showing minimum plus snowball payments every month automatically, and it does snowball where it's not a little bit extra to each debt. It puts it to the lowest debt. That's pretty cool if it does that. I've been going over my budget meticulously for the past week or so, scouting my bank account transactions to make sure I'm not missing anything. Well, what you want to do, baby step one, flare. Probably doesn't matter what the rest of this says. What you want to do is, you said for the past 2 weeks, so you want to give yourself a good 3 months before you give yourself crap over not being able to do a good budget, because you're just starting it. You're just starting to pay attention to the amount of money that you spend and amount of money that has to go to your dumbass debt. And so you're just like fully aware of that now. So you got to give yourself a good 3 months to do that. But again, the phrasing of the question I think is wrong, because the budget are just numbers on a page or in your head or in your app. And the numbers can be trusted because that's what you put in there. So either you made a mistake putting something in there, and again, give yourself 3 months before you really are upset about it. But the problem is you sticking to the budget is much more of a problem than your budget being wrong. You'll figure out if your budget's wrong. Like a lot of people start with, they normally they would spend, let's just make up a number, $500 at the grocery store every week. They would normally do that, and then they say, okay, well, we're going to cut that down to $50. That's probably not going to be possible. So people often err like that. And you'll have some that don't cut enough, but most people cut too much, and then they find, oh, I can't get enough stuff with the $50. So yeah, $50 when you use, $500 is probably too much, depending. There better be more than 2 people in that equation. Probably better be at least 4 in that $500 equation, probably more. What up, Paul? My name is Paul, and that's between y'all. So yeah, that's the dealio on that. The problem is you both times. It's not the budget itself, it's the numbers you put in the budget, or it's you not sticking to the budget, which is generally more of a problem. But as you keep doing the budget, I wouldn't expect it to be perfect the first time. Would not expect that at all. You will get better at it as you go along. So give yourself 3 months before you start beating yourself up over it, and just try to get better at it. If you make mistakes, learn from those mistakes and don't repeat them. This is, what is it? How do I read it is the username there. What's my next step? Correct big 3009. Should be able to tell from the baby steps. Let's bring them up here. They have them on this side scroller there. There we go. What's my next step? I'm at a point where I have no debt. 2 4-year-old cars paid off. Great. How about $35K in savings? Great. Is that enough for your emergency fund? Full emergency fund? $30K in 401K and $40K in kids' university fund. I've recently relocated to high cost of living area with low taxes from high cost of living with very high taxes. So finally able to save in a meaningful way. I also moved for work I move for work often, and not sure how much longer I would stay here, so not sure if I want to buy a house. You don't. Once you save for a down payment, you don't. I'm originally from Canada and plan to transfer back in a few years, eh? You hoser. I make 156K. Wife is a homemaker. My company matches my 6% 401K. 9%, great, which they take full advantage of. And a share purchasing plan, which they match 50% of my 10% contribution. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that. No single stocks. Per Mr. Ramsey. It's not just my idea, Mr. Ramsey's. I also have 25% annual bonus. That's nice. And roughly 25K long-term incentive. That's nice as well. I've been only using my salary and putting away my bonuses incentive. Approximately 50K a year. $50,000, and we'll continue doing so. We are fairly frugal. That would be a good name for a band, wouldn't it? Fairly frugal. But do spend on good quality food and activities for the kids. Justification station. It feels like it is impossible to build wealth without owning a house. It's not, because you could do the same thing, but you're combining your rent payment with something that you are building equity in. So it seems like you are doing it faster, but you're not in a situation to do that because you move around too much. So make up your mind. You want to keep moving around? You want to keep that job, or you want to get a different job where you're in one place and then you can buy a house there? So don't whine about it. You are the one in charge of this situation. You can either stop moving around and work somewhere else, or you can keep working what you're doing, and then you rent until you are landlocked somewhere. But it has definitely been the case in many areas over the past 20 years. Is it still the case? No, you can still build wealth, but probably not as fast, because again, you have you're paying the mortgage, but also that is giving you own that part of the house. The principal that you're paying off, you own that part of the house. When you rent, you are paying somebody else's part of the house. So it goes a lot faster when you own a house as far as net worth is concerned. But again, you are locking yourself out of that by wanting to move so often, by wanting to do the job that requires you to move so often. So this is 100% up to you. What is the next step for me other than save, or am I missing anything? Well, you would not keep throwing. It doesn't sound like you started this too long ago, because it's only 35K in savings. It's in investing, it's only 30K and 40K in the kids' university fund, depending on how old the kids are. If the kids are toddlers, you don't need to put that much in, and you can prioritize something else. And at this point, I get, if you want to buy a house at some point, then yeah, you can still keep running up the down payment amount for sure. So you can keep doing that for sure. And the beautiful part of it is, because it's going to take longer if you stay with this job and move around so much that it doesn't make sense for you to buy a house, maybe you can save up enough to pay for most of it, or if not all of it, when you do decide to buy, when you settle down. So you're not missing anything. You just can't do everything all at the same time. You can't be moving every year or two and be buying houses over and over and over again. I know people that have done that, especially like military people, and that's dumb as crap. So don't do that stuff. You're not missing anything and you're saving, don't have any debt. So you're in a good situation. You just can't buy a house just because you want one. You have to be in the right situation, and moving every 1 or 2 years is you're not in the right situation. And it also, y'all, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I'll buy it and rent it out and then move in it when I'm done with moving around. Nope, none of that crap. Because you would have to pay for that 100% in cash anyway, because that's business stuff. So you can't, you're not going to loophole me on that one. So your next step is to continue to follow the Ramsey advice if that's what you've been doing. Sounds like pretty good. You should be putting 15% in, but if you are saving a down payment, you can stop investing completely. Or you can lower it or stop investing completely for up to 2 years while you save a larger down payment faster. But you don't need to do that apparently, because if you keep that job, you don't need to be buying a house. But, people will, even though they shouldn't, for sure. Aslan, what up? Hi, everyone. As I said, you don't want to buy a home unless you're going to be there and stay there at least 5 years, right? Steve, what do you think about single stocks where the company is just holding stock in lots of companies like Berkshire Hathaway? I still wouldn't. That's like kind of because they're diversified. So if you buy a single stock with them, you're diversified as well. But you can probably find a managed fund that makes more than that stock does. I would imagine. I don't know what. Let's see what they make. Let's see what their dealio is. What am I looking for? Here we go. Berkshire. Thinking about the hobbits now with the Shire. Hathaway. They have different classes. I wonder what that is. If that's different, caps. Let's see. Let's just see what A is. Class A, and it should tell us over here on the right side. See, this, kids, is how you find out. I use Morningstar to compare, because that seems to be the best one to do that. But look, the internet tells you about all of these managed mutual funds. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Cap. Expense ratio 13.75. That's a lot, dog. That's a lot, dog. So probably you could find a managed fund that is much lower than that ends up beating it. Let's see. Is an American multinational conglomerate? Right. I want to know about this A fund though. Personally owns 38.4% of the Class A voting shares of the Berkshire Hathaway, representing a 15.1% overall economic interest in the company. I bet it's not going to fully explain it to me at this moment in this. So yeah, it doesn't like tell me. I was hoping it would like tell me, well, this is all like large cap stuff. And hey, let's see if maybe I missed it. Market cap, average volume. Yeah, the PE ratio is a lot. But I mean, that's a big, huge company, and they have been fairly successful. So I get it. Let's see. The B is 1. You can afford to buy. The A is $750,000 a share. I gotcha. Okay, so it's like, oh, I see. It's for the. It's either up here, or if you the B one's on the kids seat basically. If you got to sit at the kids table. I gotcha. Okay. Okay. So I mean, on that, I would think. Well, let's see what the expense ratio is on the B. Class B. And what's the difference between that B and that B? Or is that just, that's euros? All right. Oh, New York Stock Exchange, and this is VIE. That's probably in Europe. Okay. Figured that part out. Let's see the class B. Uh, 0.01%. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Unless this is just basically their version of an index fund. I don't know if it is or not. Again, would have to get more information on it, and this doesn't say that kind of thing. No, this is just more about the company than the actual fund. It's all right, interesting. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have a cow about that, even though it's a single stock because of the nature of it, because it basically is diversity inside of that single stock. So there's I would find other battles to fight than that one. I wouldn't fight you on that one, Aslan. Oh no, Nasdaq down again. Oh goodness gracious me. Oh, I wonder if they should have lowered interest rates and been proactive. They don't like to do that. Actuary Fuzzy 6980. Budget app. Is there any other budgeting apps besides Erdala that work well with following the Ramsey way? Well, why wouldn't they all? You would think that Erdala would work the best because that's like tuned into all the baby steps and so forth. But anyone, I mean, a budget is just making the budget. So, I mean, you could do better probably, writing it on the back of this envelope here. You could write a budget out there as well. And so it's just whether it helps you keep the good budget. And then the problem, more often than making the budget, is you sticking to it is the most problem. But again, I would think that the every dollar one would work the best with following the Ramsey way, but it's not necessary to do so because I don't use it. Oh, Aslan retracted. Maybe I covered something, or she asked something that I answered, maybe. Which is the same thing. Cleo's Pet 22. How can I get out of this? Of this is 2 words. Hello everyone. Hi guys. I need advice for. Oh, let me stop that before I get into that one. Promotion for me. Another plug. At least for definitely today. Probably tomorrow too, and then why not Friday as well. I'm going to be doing the after show right after the Ramsey show. Ends at 10:27 p.m. like 10:27 a.m. Gotta get used to it being a.m. 10:27 a.m. Eastern time is when the Ramsey show is over on YouTube, and that's when I start. But I'm also going to do a 4 o'clock stream just to see if, because that's the time, that Ramsey used to be on. So just to see if maybe there could be more views being had there. And so I'm leaning to going right after the Ramsey show. But eventually I might not have a choice, due to, whatever job I end up getting, a real job. Instead of side hustle fun like I'm doing now. But yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern time today, tomorrow, and Friday. Almost certainly we'll be doing 2 a day, doing 2 a days, just like the kids do in football practice. So 10:27 a.m. Eastern time, and also 4 p.m. Eastern time. 2 after shows, and on the 4 p.m. after shows, I'll be doing Facebook group questions. And today's will be fun because I'm gonna do. There was one thing on there that was posted by one of the mods of the Ramsey Facebook group. The one actually run by Ramsey Solutions. It's called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community. And it was a question. It was, if you could ask Dave any question, what would it be? And so, I ignored the troll ones. And so I just got the good ones, the ones that, I want to talk about. And so we'll be going through those at 4 p.m. today. So if you can make that. Do you plan to repeat the content and cover at 4 p.m.? Well, it's going to be the same baby steps, Aslan. So I've pretty much been doing it for over, coming up on 600 episodes. Actually, more than that if you count the answering your financial questions streams as well. So it is the same content over and over again. But no, I'm not going to leave these same Reddit questions. I'm not going to talk about this same story. I may look at the market to see what it finishes up at. But basically, it's just going to be answering, most of it's going to be answering Facebook questions. So, but it is, there's only so many different things that people can do wrong about the baby steps. So, some things do repeat. Like, you'll get multiple of the, should I finance this? Every time. Everybody thinking they're going to be the exception, where Dave says, oh yeah, honey, you get that truck any way you can, no matter how much interest. So it's going to be, as different as I can make it, except it will be a little bit of market talk on the same day, but there's a lot more hours that will have happened, and anything can happen in the market. It can go way up or way down or stay the same. Yeah. So, but if you watch, Aslan, I will try to keep you entertained. Are you not entertained? And also, anybody watching now that's planning on watching later, I'm also going to throw it open to the chat, anybody that's watching, to put in what they would ask Dave, if they could ask Dave any question. And of course, I'll ignore any troll ones, just like I did in the Facebook group. And there are some in there, unfortunately. Where were we? CleoSpat22, how can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? What is that? Excuse me while I do these steps. Hello everyone. Hi guys. I need advice. So for the past year, I have been helping my friend out with some of their bills, as last year they had been unemployed for over 6 months. This was supposed to be a temporary situation. The person now has a job, but because they are trying to save up to move to an apartment, I've still been helping with their bills. Where do they live now? The downfall is I have my own bills, exactly, and responsibilities, and those need to come first. It's great to be a giver and to help people out. That's fabulous. But you got to have boundaries, and you have to cut that off. You cannot just say, oh, well, I'm doing a good thing, so if I give all of my money to this person that needs it, then somehow everything will work out for me too. No, that's not how it works. You have to be smart enough to keep enough to take care of your own stuff. So helping them sometimes leaves me in a bad spot, and that should be a no. Like you have your emergency fund as savings. You need to have a certain amount that you keep, and that's not an option to help them with. There has to be a cutoff point for that. I was thinking of giving them another month before I tell them I cannot help them anymore. Why wait? I feel bad, but I'm wondering, how do I phrase to them that I cannot assist anymore? How about I can't assist anymore because I don't have money to pay for my stuff? How about you just be honest? Everybody's worried about the confrontation always, okay? And if there was going to be a confrontation, if there was going to be some, some pain for this person to take from you because you have to tell them that you can't assist them anymore, you've earned the right to do that with giving them all the money you have so far for way, way, way too long, in this reporter's opinion. Oh, as in we'll come up with she asked Dave a question. Cool, cool, cool. And of course, the beautiful thing is I get to answer it, or I get to like guess what he would say if I've heard him say anything like related to that, or if just say I have no idea. I'd like to hear that too, probably, because I'm sure you'll come up with a good one, or multiple. You can probably do multiple. There probably won't be a billion people in the chat. That'd be fabulous, though. A billion would be okay, and 3 of them subscribe. Alrighty. So, oh yeah. So with this, yeah, you just got to know where to draw the line on that. It's great to be giving, and especially if you're a Christian, you tithe. And I mean, this could be your tithing or part of your tithing. And you should do that. You do that in every single baby step. And Mr. Ramsey did that in all the way going into bankruptcy and all the way going out of bankruptcy. He did tithe. And so that is present in every baby step. And so you could consider that, but it's been going on too long now. There comes a spot where, when it gets to be months and months, it turns from help to enabling, and you wanna avoid that. But yeah, you've earned the right to say I can't assist anymore. I can't even. I give you too much. I can't even pay my bills, so I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Still love you. I mean, and you don't even have to go with I hope we can still be friends, because person should know that already, because otherwise you wouldn't just have given that person all their money to help them out. Boom, boom, boom. Think about what is the greater pain, right? This conversation, or later when you tell them you're broke and the collectors are coming to get your stuff. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, this is one of the things where if somebody asked this person about it, would probably be able to, give the same advice that we just gave. But since it's her own little situation, she's too close to it to think clearly about it. And that happens, especially with friends and family. And that's, of course, paging Dr. Cloud, paging Dr. Cloud. Need to throw up the boundaries on that one. And you also need to have a boundary on yourself in your too much giving thing. And again, you have to have a line where you cut that off and say, okay, I need this to pay my stuff. Because if I do that, then I'm going to have help from somebody. Oh my goodness gracious me. We've gone over an hour. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, so we will, tomorrow in the morning after show, we will do side hustle with food allergies and other restrictions. Find out what that's all about. And what mortgage paid off, invested first, then paid off. That is fine if they're talking about investing the 15% while you're still are paying off the mortgage. That's fine. If they are saying they invested a chunk of money first instead of putting it on the mortgage, but with plans to pay off the mortgage, that would not be the advice to do. to save up a big chunk or invest it so it becomes a big chunk and then throw it at the mortgage later. That would not be the advice. Granted, the last 2 years, except for the last 3 or 4 months, the last 2 years, investing probably made pretty good money, and so might have out interested the mortgage. But that still wouldn't be the thing. But we'll find out if that's actually what happened. Looks like it's a long one, so might get intense and a lot of parts, a lot of moving parts to it. Confrontation is part of adulting. That much is certain, Aslan. You got a decent head on your shoulders. Hope you and your livestock are all well. By the way, and thank you so much for watching. Everybody else as well. Anybody else watching right now or that will be watching later, much appreciated. I know there's billions of things out there that you could be watching, and even if you spend just a couple seconds with me, that's fabulous. All right, so you're watching this on youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Oh yeah, one more time. Again, there'll be another after show at 4 p.m. as I try to decide which one to go with today. 4 p.m., which was the old Ramsey time. It's now at 9 a.m. And just so I can decide which one I want to do. Because I probably won't be able to do. I won't do two a day. It won't be two a days forever. Can't do that probably. Where was I? I said youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, not just some guy here telling you you're doing it wrong. And if you are having money problems, or hey, you just want to make sure you're on the right track, or you just want me to tell you you're doing it wrong, you can schedule a free consultation with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. Do that at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. You can email me about financial coaching or finances or anything else that's on my YouTube channel, or anything on your mind really. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Anytime, be glad to hear from you. Donations, paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, still, yet again, Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also, what do we have? Super chats on live streams. Super thanks on pre-recorded videos. It's all fun stuff. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey Show Aftershow Monday through Friday. I think I've corrected this now. Following each Ramsey show at 10:27 a.m. Eastern Time, and a bonus, yes, just for you, after show at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, at least through the rest of this week. Yeah. And then we'll see which one I like better for doing the after show permanently. Right now, leaning towards right after the actual show at its YouTube time. Again, 9 a.m. to 10:27 a.m. on YouTube is the Ramsey Show itself. And then I go live at 10:27 or a couple of minutes late like I did today. My bad. That's my bad. I appreciate people finding me anyway. You take care too, Aslan. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. Alrighty, and as always, make smart financial decisions every day.